Hello and welcome to this Board Game Life episode number 57 titled Crowdfunding Mania. This is a show about board games, tabletop games, I guess crowdfunding this time, and anything else we feel like talking about at any particular moment. I am one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob, and with me, as always, I got my good buddy Mark.
Hey, Rob, how's it going this fine board gaming week?
It's super fantastico. How about that? Does that sound good?
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. It hasn't been a super great week for me for board gaming. I haven't gotten anything to the table, and
Oh,
plus the people that I game with they're traveling and stuff. So
fired. That's it.
yeah. Yeah, and I went and I visited some family, and I brought over sea salt and paper, which I got, and then I also brought Azul, and there was one more thing. No, I don't remember what it is. There was a third game, and we wound up getting none of them to the table. We just sat around and talked and stuff,
Talking is
which
overrated.
I know. But yeah, so I sadly had to bring them home, and I actually used that. I don't know if you remember. There's that one. Remember when Franco bought like all those games
Uh-huh.
where
Like in that big bundle?
I was gonna say, like, you remember when Mark bought all those games and Rob bought all those games because we all bought a bunch of games. But yeah, he got that like bundle, and it came in this thing called a bag of holding, and he gave it to me, and I'm like, this thing is freaking awesome. It's like a little, it's how they have those like I'll call them recyclable or reusable shopping bags. They're
Yeah.
made out of that one material. It's like a woven something.
Yeah.
They sell them at the store for like a buck or
Right.
whatever. So I've usually used those. And this is like sturdy construction, and it opens up to the size of like your standard ticket to ride box, and it's got a zipper top. And it's
Oh,
like, well,
nice.
yeah, this thing is nice. I mean, if you've got smaller games, I guess it's not that great for that, but maybe you shouldn't be taking small games by people's houses. Just take the big boys.
Exactly.
Yeah, the big meaty games, the heavy games. And that's the other thing. It's like a nice thick woven material, so it can handle a little bit of punishment and everything doesn't fly out because, with an open top, something will spill in the car. That is a guarantee. At least I found. But hopefully it's been a much better uh, gaming week for you. What have you been doing?
It's yeah, the last 2 weeks I've gotten some stuff in, some new things. I did place in some familiar stuff, so Take Five, Point Salad. Um, those are, kind of our warm ups, if you will, or game enders for the night on our game groups. But got to play Clank Catacombs again with a new group. I picked up, and I wasn't going to either. I'm so stupid. I played this next game at Gen Con. I'm like, this is so dumb. But then I ended up picking it up because I was like,
What?
well, this will be something that, my mother might like. And so I got Dixit's Disney Edition.
Oh,
And
okay.
she liked it. She won, but I'm like, I bet I never play this again. I just, I don't understand the whole Dixit fascination. Like, because it's the same game. It's just with Disney cards. It's just like, I don't really understand this, but got to play more Planet Unknown. Love that. One thing I'm excited, I was um, watching someone do a solo playthrough. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. So I'm hoping this weekend that I'll get some time to actually sit down and play it, a solo run on Planet Unknown. and they have these event cards that come into play when you're playing a solo to do things. And I think you're trying to hit a certain score by the end of the game.
Okay. Yeah.
And these event cards can work for or against you. So I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. I really love Planet Unknown. Um, I got to play Deep Rock Galactic, the board game.
Nice.
Oh,
For Rock
several
and
times
Stone.
now for Rock and Stone. Yes,
Oh, a couple of times?
yes, we played it. So, I got to play it. Let's see. I think the last time I talked to you, then I brought it to my game night this last Wednesday and played it. Got to play a couple of rounds, couple missions. Played it again last night because one of the ladies in my group was looking at that. It's currently on a Kickstarter, and she knows that I have talked about it, so she was interested in it. And so we had 5 people, so I sat out, but let everyone else play it last night, and I did the rolling for the bugs, and but that way she got a chance to actually play it and determine if she really wanted to spend the massive amount of money that the current
Big
Kickstarter
money.
edition. It's a very expensive game. And but yeah, it's a fun game, and I enjoyed watching my friends run through it and doing a mission. So it's a lot of fun. I like it. Also,
So,
I
so
oh,
the
go
fact
ahead.
that you were watching, how how was it watching them? Did you feel compelled to be like that alpha gamer, like do this, do that, or did you just sit back,
I
chill, and relax?
No, I don't. I think I'm really good about not being the alpha gamer because there's some very good gamers in this group, and well, everyone's more experienced than I am, anyways. But I did mention a couple of times, I'm like, just here's some other options, since like a couple people, two of the people had never played it before, the other two had played it with me for the first time last week, so everyone was pretty fresh to the game. So I would just mention a couple of things that could be done,
Yeah, that was
but
cool.
it was just like that's it. No, I was happy to sit and watch them do and play how they wanted, and um, yeah, it was fun. We had some new creatures come out that we hadn't had before, so it was interesting. It was just fun, and they won it. They got out. They completed the mission. So,
Hmm.
but it's a really really good game. It's very expensive. You really gotta like and I think it's just because there's so many miniatures. It's but the game, the board, the character boards are that, what do you call them? Like double layered
Yeah.
cardboard. Is that what? Yeah, I mean it's a quality game. It's a huge box. It's very very well made and designed. They did not cheap out on anything. So, and I'll talk more about it later, but did get to play that some more. And I will say this playing this and getting this to the table has got me to back to the video game. And I know, Rob, you and I both got to play the video game just the other day because we were playing it together. Well, we played it a couple times now, right? This last
Yeah.
week,
Hmm.
didn't we do it 2 different nights? And so we got back into the video game, and it was interesting. So we both you're playing on Xbox, right? Or are you on
Yes.
PC? Okay,
Xbox.
because I know you have the PC version of this too, right?
Yeah, I mean we all do. It's in Game Pass.
Oh, that's right.
Both of us do.
Um, but I think we bought the game a long time ago, right?
Hmm.
Before I think
Yeah,
before it came out. But I
we
I
were
popped an
OG.
achievement. Yeah, I popped an achievement the other day, and I was like, "Huh, wonder when the last time I popped an achievement." And I went back and I looked. So I got one on like September 29th, 2023. The next one before that was January 1st, 2021.
Wow.
So it was like 2.5 years later, I
Happy New
come back to
Year.
the game, and well, yeah, it was interesting that it was on January 1st. But yeah, it was like I really haven't. I mean, I've played it since then, but I hadn't popped an achievement. So that was probably around the time that we were getting close to not playing it as much as we did. And I definitely, like, it got uninstalled, and there's so much to this game now. There's so many new things they've put in. It's pretty crazy. So, but yeah, the board game got me back into the video game. So
And it's such a great game, and I'm so tempted to get the board game because I love that is one of my favorite games of all time. Like no joke. And I just don't know how often I could get it to the table. Now,
it's gonna be a tough one unless
yeah.
you. I picture it this way. This is going to be one of those what do you call it? Like a Gloomhaven type of thing. Because
Yeah.
you can play it now. It's not as many missions. There's only, I think, 17 missions, and then of course now with the new Kickstarter that's currently going on until
Oh,
October
that's
16th,
right.
you
Yeah.
do have expansions, and there will be more missions and stuff. So you can do like a Gloomhaven style, which in the video game we call them deep dives. Well, they are in the actual board game. They call you can do a deep dive and basically just go from mission to mission and keep everything that you've collected, like your add-ons and stuff like that. Um, and don't go back to quote the rig. You basically go right into the next mission. So you set up the board and you just go right on and you keep all your stuff. Otherwise, it's kind of like you pick your mission, but you're starting out fresh each time. So, but you know, if you're playing with a group and you can remember what you had, you can just stretch your gaming out. But you could probably go through all 17 missions. Probably, well, I don't know how they do rank up and get harder as you go. So you're gonna want to try to keep those upgrades and things like that going. But again, it's not like 100 missions like Gloomhaven. It was I think 95 main and
Yeah.
even more than that. I think side missions or something. This is like 17. So, but it is one I think that you can't. I'm pretty sure you cannot do it solo. I wouldn't want to. I don't even like playing the video game solo, but you do get. You can because I know they do have a rule book for it, or there's a part because you do get Bosco as a companion
Okay.
that can help you, just like in the video game. So I haven't tried it solo, but I would imagine you really wouldn't want to play this board game solo. It's just one of those that you really need. It's so beneficial to have the other dwarfs in the game to ever making use of everybody's special abilities. That's what really, you know, working together as a team to like, oh, you can't jump across the chasm here. The engineer's going to throw a platform out so you can go across. You know, oh, you're stuck over here. Well, let the driller drill out that stalagmite so you can get around or go through it, or drill into the unexplored area and whatnot. And just, you know, there's a lot of different things that each of them bring to make it a more enjoyable experience. And it is a lot of fun with other people.
Yeah.
And you're, I don't remember the actual term. So when you do your move and everyone's like waiting their turn, is that asynchronous? So like you take
Well,
your move and then when you're done, then the next person takes their moves and you know,
so when everybody takes their turns at the same time, that's oh, now you messed me up with your asynchronous. That's simultaneous.
well, I kept hearing
Simultaneous
the word
play.
like asynchronous play.
Well,
I don't.
that's where not everybody's the same. That's usually how that refers to things. For example, like, in some of the superhero games where you're different superheroes, and let's say you're like battling each other or something like that. If, Superman has, you know, flying X-ray vision, whatever, laser vision, whatever they call it. And then, Spider-Man has web thing and web thing, nice. And, he shoots his webs and swings around. That's asynchronous where not everybody's the same kind of. I
Okay.
think I think that's what that refers to.
Well, this is okay. So each player plays at them. They do their turn by themselves.
Okay,
Then when
at
their
the
turn
same
is
time.
done, no, one person does their turn. They get three actions, so they can move, they can combat, they can mine, they can do all these different actions. And when they're done with their turn, they flip an event card, and that's what will determine like if the bugs move, the monsters, whatever you want. I always keep calling them bugs because most of them are bugs. If the bugs move, whatnot, what happens, and then the next player does their turns. So it's and it just at the end of their turn they pull the event card again, and at some point you will get a swarm. So there's a track that will keep moving that swarm track up, and it makes it harder, and the bigger guys can come out. You get more bugs on the map, and so you have limited health and ammunition, and then you have to call the supply drop in to get more, and so it's and there are different hazard levels, just like in the video game, so you can make it harder. Now we've been playing on the easiest mode, which takes it longer for a swarm to happen, but you can certainly start at a different hazard levels, which basically means the swarms are going to happen faster. So
Okay.
that's kind of really the only difference, but it's a fantastic game. I know how much you like the game, and I'd be like, yeah, go for it, but it it is a lot of money, and we can talk about that here in a
Yeah.
minute. So, but anyways, I
And
I
I
did
was
also
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna mention real quick. I did check BGG, and there are a few like homemade, fan made, whatever you want to call it, missions available. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, so people did make their own and they shared them with the community.
nice.
So that's kind of cool.
Also played Zombicide Gear Up, which is a Zombicide flip and right game.
Mhm.
It's kind of fun. Um, it's very, very different, but it's still in the Zombicide universe. That's a flip and right for Zombicide. And then played some Sushi Go
Okay.
last night with my group. So, but that's it. That's what I've got in
Oh,
this week.
I almost forgot I was going to ask you because I thought of this while you were talking. Maybe there is one thing that will make me get it. Is there a bulk detonator in the game?
there is um there is a what is it called? An exploder? Let me look
So,
up the different
so,
creatures. It
so
does
that's the
explode, but
little
it's
one. Those are the little ones, I think.
that's the little one. Yeah, I don't know if there's a bulk detonator.
So the bulk detonator is like the mid-size, and then there's the big Mama Jamma. That's the one that
Oh,
leaves the
there's
huge
there's
hole.
the there's a bulk detonator mini expansion
Okay.
in the new Kickstarter. So yes, it's not currently in their game, but it is. I
Ooh.
am backing it. And there's also the Corlock Tyrant Weed mini expansion that's being added in. So while we're on this, let me just let's just go right into this because we're on it and we might as well keep talking about it. So Deep Rock Galactic, the game. My understanding is it's not easy to find. Um, so what they are doing is they're now putting out a what they call their space rig and biome expansions. This is currently open on Kickstarter for another 12 days. Today is the 3rd of October, so another 12 days after that. Let's see, looks like Monday, October 16th is when it will end. So if you're listening to this and are interested, um, be sure to sign up before then. But so, what is in this game, or what is available in this Kickstarter? So they have two different expansions. The first one is what they call the Space Rig expansion. It's going to add two new mission types. It's going to allow you to escort the drill dozer and do a liquid morkite processing, which I'm really interested to see, and they show pictures of it, Rob, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to work in the board game. Um,
Hmm.
but the space rig also introduces a wealth of new content that's going to allow you to tackle assignments, complete secondary challenges, somehow enhance your team, and engage in entirely two mission types, which those were what I mentioned. There's also a campaign mode. So it's a mission progression system,
Oh wow.
warnings and modifiers, secondary challenges, and lasting upgrades. So I already see, that stupid we call the roly poly.
Yeah.
It looks like that thing's in here
Oh
because
boy.
I'm seeing a picture of it. Unless it's something else, um, this might be. Oh, you know what that might be? Oh, I bet you it's not the roly poly. That's for the escort the drill dozer mission, where it goes up to that big ball and then it starts drilling
Yeah. Hmm.
because those laser turrets are right next. So they're just kind of put everything on this. That's what that is. Um, so then they have assignments, so you can set out on assignments generated by the missions deck. Warnings will be added as you progress, making the missions more challenging and adding a new layer of replayability. Mentioned the mission type, so you got to get the invaluable Omeron Heartstone core and then defend the drill dozer by any means. There's the processing, some secondary challenges. There's a bunch of upgrades. And that's just that one expansion. Then the second expansion. Now, again, this is expensive because these all have miniatures and there's a lot. And the
Yeah.
miniatures are really good quality. I mean, this is I think that's really, like I said before, this whole game is very high quality. So it's, in my opinion, I don't regret the money I spent buying the original game. And I'm going basically almost completely all in on the expansions. Um, But the second one is a biome expansion, and it gives you 4 new biome types, new creatures, new missions, and special eliminate dreadnought missions, which, Rob, we love those,
Yeah.
don't we?
Oh yeah. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. Maybe toss in
Uh-huh.
a least in there somewhere
Yeah.
in that sentence. Yeah.
So the new biomes are going to actually introduce new challenges. So like there's the magma core. So some of the tiles are going to have like the lava basically on them, so you can't jump on them. There's the fungus bogs, which will have all that green goop, which is bad for you. There's the glacial strata, which is like you can slide around on the ice, and then there's one called Azure Wield. That's that purplish glowy thing. So I don't know what that biome specifically is going to add to the game, other than just new locations and different. Because like right now, you're kind of, if you're used to the video game, when every time you go down, you're in a different biome, and in the original board game, it's kind of like you're just drilling through, like you're in a basic one. Now it's set up different, but everything's the same. It's just like a general cave biome. So this is going to add all these different tiles and different options. Um, and then of course it's got a bunch of new creatures. It's going to add in the stingtail and the rammer. Um, let's see. Then we got some biome hazards that are going to be added. So there's a miniatures and then different tiles that will do different things, that you're gonna have to avoid. Um, all right. So those are kind of what those are the main things. So then you get into the pledges. So if you want just like the space rig or the biome expansion, it's $85 approximately, because it's in a where is this coming from? Even the little thing is like, looks like a C with like a two slashes through the middle of it. Um, is that euros maybe? So
Yeah.
okay, so it's like 80 euros or approximately 85 US dollars for each expansion. So each expansion is like 85 bucks. So getting both, you're now looking at $150 just for the two expansions. Then they've got the expansion bundle for $203, which adds in that bulk detonator mini expansion and the Corlock Tyrant Weed mini expansion. Um, Now there's the collector's choice. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one I did. And this one's $250. This gives you both expansions. You get a Memorial Hall dwarf miniature. It's gold colored injected that fits on the space rig. That's a Kickstarter exclusive. You do get the two mini expansions. You also get 8 mixed missions that combine the biome with the space rig mission types. You get 4 beer coasters
Oh,
um,
nice.
with the different beers from the game listed.
Oh,
You do get
nice.
a dice tray, so rock and stone dice tray. You also get the STL files. So,
Oh, wow.
so if you want to print for, if you have a 3D printer, you can print out your own miniatures. And then you also get all the expansion tokens are going to be in plastic instead of cardboard. So, but that's $250, and that doesn't include the base game, which you
Yeah.
do have to play. So like I said, it's really expensive. Now, if you missed out, they do have a newcomer section here. And for the newcomers, they got several different ones. They're going to include the deluxe base game in the campaign, but it's going to be a second edition version. Um, it says we only have a small number of first edition deluxe base games left. They are available on the website at moodpublishing.com. So if you are interested in just trying to get the base game, you might want to check there. I don't know what their cost is. Or you can, the second edition of the base game is going to be printed a long time, the expansions. So to get the deluxe base game plus some art prints is $133. If you want the newcomer plus both expansions, that's $257. So really, it's not bad. I mean, it's still very expensive for a game. And I'm paying 250, but I'm getting a lot of other stuff now. If you wanted the one that I'm getting plus the all the additional little stuff with the STL files and all the expansions, that's going to run you $353. Um,
Yeah.
Now they do add in another mini expansion called Goo from Above that is not it's not available like in the one that I bought, but it is an add-on that I did add on to my campaign. So there's so like I'm paying more than what I said because I'm also buying that as well. So, but the Kickstarter page shows you some great visuals of everything that's in this game, and it's a lot of fun. So that being said, very expensive. So I'm going to share something with you. So when I mentioned that we played this last night with my gaming group. One of the ladies was very interested and was looking at this. Well, after she played the game, her comment was, I liked the game, but I'm not going to kickstart it because it doesn't, in her words, was it didn't do anything different or unique that she does. She's like, it's just another dungeon crawler. And she's got, she owns Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. And, so she kind of felt it was like way too much money to
Yeah.
buy for something that, for her and what her collection is, doesn't give her anything new. And like for me, I love the video game. And I really do like the board game. So I'm going all in and getting it. But it's so it's tough to for you, Rob. I'd say yeah, do it. You know,
Yeah.
go get it. Go all in. Buy the get that. Was it how much was that one? The
The
newcomers.
one that I was looking at was like 330, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I
so
just
that's the
that's a tough one.
353, 353.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it? Okay.
yeah. So that's the base game, the expansions, all the mini stuff, everything. Yeah, you get all that stuff for 353. So, and it is so the thing is, I know how much you enjoy this game, and that's why I'm like, yes, get it.
Yeah.
However, how often will you get to play it? Probably once a year when
When
we have
we
our
when we
little
yeah,
we
when
get
we hook up.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be the issue for you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So that's it's a tough one, and I think this is a really good start because it kind of launches us into what our topic is today. We titled the show Crowdfunding Mania, and it's kind of like I've been having some conversations with some people, and it's just like, and I was talking with you, Rob, earlier, and it was just like, I kind of wanted to know. I thought we should share our like most excited, maybe our top 5 crowdfunding projects that we have backed that we're most excited to get in our hands, but then talk about crowdfunding as a whole. Like, what's good about it? What's bad about it? Why do we do this? Because I dumped this money out. Now, come on the 16th, they're going to take that 250, $300, whatever it is that I've put into this. What was my pledge? Um, and then I got to wait till basically September of next year
Yeah. Wait a
to
year.
get it if it's on time. So I've pledged £291. So I think that's over $300 for me. So, because like I said, I also did I bought that little goo expansion. So I want it all. It's like, I want it all. Um, so but anyways, this is so kind of like another thing of trying to get Rob to commit to it, because I love it and I know he loves it, and I
Yeah.
think the game is really fun to play, and I think they really did a great job of turning a video game into a board game. But on a larger note, this is something that for people and fans that are into the hobby of board gaming. If you got this, I got to have everything. Like I had this once before. In fact, the game is still on my Kickstarter page as a backed out or unsuccessful. Marvel United Multiverse. I've got a whole bunch of Marvel United games. And I was like, yeah, and we kind of liked the original, so I bought a whole bunch. And then this Kickstarter came out, and I was like, yeah. And then it was like every other day, we've now added this, and we've now added this. And at the end of it was like $500, and I was like, I had to cancel it. I'm like,
Oh
this
yeah,
is
that's right.
ridiculous. But there are people that are like, I want it all. And that's kind of the way I feel about Deep Rock Galactic. Like, I want everything. I knew when I heard it was coming that I'm getting it. I'm getting it, all of it. Same with Dice Throne. There's a new Dice Throne one coming out on October 17th. I already know I'm going all in no matter what it costs. But it's like, oh, this is killing me. So I thought it would be good to kind of talk about some different things. So before we get into the negative side or the comments, why don't we go ahead and share? Why don't we go back and forth with our? We'll go through our 5 lists. Why don't we start at number 5? You give your 5, I'll give my 5. You give your 4, I'll give mine. Back and forth. We'll work
Yeah.
our way up to our most anticipated one that we're waiting. So what? We'll start there, and then we'll get into the kind of crowdfunding topic.
Okay. Yeah. So I've actually got mine backwards in
I
the list
I
here.
do too. I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say the first one that I'm really looking forward to is a game called Inventions, Evolution of Ideas. So this is a new game by Carl Chedik. Um, just makes some amazing games. Love them. I will introduce you to at least one of them at some point.
Okay.
They are known for not great art, even when they have like multiple versions later, reprints and stuff like that. It's still not great art, but the games are awesome. They're very unique. There's like nothing like them, and they're really enjoyable. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And now that I think about it, I should probably say like when I'm gonna be expecting this bad boy, because
Oh yeah,
Let
that's
me
a
see. Yeah, because here it is. Inventions. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed this up.
yeah, you did.
This is, yeah, this is a different game. That was Innovation. Inventions, Evolution of Ideas is by Vital Lacerda. Um, it makes some amazing games, very beefy games. And I was thinking of Innovation, which is another one
Oh.
that I backed recently. So inventions, innovations, it sounds similar, but yeah, it's done by Vital Lacerda. Eagle Griffin Games seems to publish most of his titles. They're very big games. Unfortunately, they come in these huge boxes, which gets to be annoying after a while because of shelf space. But the artwork is also by an artist named Ian O'Toole. So I don't know if you've started paying attention to those. So there's the designers that make the games. There's really like three things that I pay attention to games. There's a designer, of course. There's the artist, which always helps because I have a couple of my favorite artists. Ian O'Toole is one of them. Michael Menzel is another one that I really enjoy his artwork. That tends to be more on the Euro side, and then publishers. So Eagle Griffin is pretty decent. They come up with good stuff. And let me see, when is this expected? That's a Now I'm curious. Where does it show that?
Yeah, some of them are tough to find
Yeah. Where the heck
when
are
they're
you?
gonna. And of course, it's not like well, then if they're gonna be on time or not. That's the whole other question.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's under. Is it under the campaign page where it's expected?
If it's on Kickstarter, if you look at your projects, that will have the date. Um, Under the reward, it gives you the estimated
Yeah,
date.
yeah, because I was
Um,
looking at a different section.
Game Found will you have to go, I think, into the campaign to find it
Let's see,
because it doesn't do it on your
estimated
projects page. Yeah.
February 2024.
Okay.
So definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, in a that innovation, not innovations. There I go again. That
Inventions.
no, now I'm totally messed up. The Carl Chudik game. That didn't go through Kickstarter. It went through another system.
Oh,
Because there's a couple, right? They're fracturing. Um, it's by Asmati Games. I got to look it up right now. Let's see how well my email search looks. It's Asmati, not Asmodee.
Asmodee.
Yeah, Innovation. That's it. Innovation Ultimate is the other one. Maybe
So
maybe
essentially,
yeah. What?
so one of these that you've talked about is like your number fifth most,
So
or
I
is it
would
your number one most?
so so this is number five. I'm working my way down, and
Okay. Okay.
yeah, the
So okay.
Innovation Ultimate I would say is probably number six,
Okay.
but I confuse the two.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Innovation,
I
inventions.
get that.
Yeah. How about
All
you?
right. So my number five most anticipated, and this is only at the bottom of my top five, and it's because I already own the game. But I love it so much. It's Planet Unknown with the Supermoon expansion. So we talked about this before. You and I both missed this Kickstarter, and I ended up buying the game when I was at Gen Con because they had it. But um, I absolutely want the second reprint of the deluxe edition. So the main thing is, and this is from Adam's Apple Games, And what I really want from the second one is that it has a lazy. So the lazy Susan, I've talked about this, comes in the game original, the game that, bleh, the original game. But what they found is if you store your games like upright, vertical, and not
Yes.
horizontal,
Yes.
then all the tiles will fall out of lazy Susan.
Oh,
So
they
they're
fall out of
actually,
everything, not just the lazy
yeah.
Susan.
So they're the reprint. They've got a lid that's going to go on the lazy Susan to keep everything in it. So this is from, and I think it's Game Trays that makes the lazy Susan, I guess, and they're now adding a lid for the Susan. So um, the also this. Um, and I was already in this before I bought it, but it was one of those things I so badly wanted to play this game that I bought it. So I do not regret it. I absolutely love Planet Unknown. Still think it should have won the Spiel thing with
Oh,
Jigger,
yeah. Mhm.
but don't get me started.
Yeah.
um, hey, I shared that. Well, never mind. I'm going off track. But so also this reprint is giving us the limited deluxe edition. So it's going to have like the upgraded rover and like right now the life pods and the asteroids are just wooden, which are still nice, but they're going to be like upgraded to like the um what are they, like resin or plastic like shaped, and so they look really cool. I've seen the pictures of them. Plus you're getting this new expansion. The supermoon expansion is going to be included in that. So it's like, yep, I'm all in. This one comes out April of 2024, and yeah, I am so excited. It's like I'll give my current version away to someone in my group when this new one comes out. So I won't regret it. But yeah, they're plastic. So the little meteorites and the life pods are made out of plastic in the limited edition. Uh, so we should have that instead of the wooden ones. So, but yep, that's what I'm really excited about.
Okay.
How about you? What's your
Next up
next
for
one?
me is the reprint of Paperback. So this is Paperback 10th anniversary, not just any old reprint, but the 10th anniversary, and it comes with the new game Typewriter. So I've got Paperback, the original. Actually, no, it's probably the second printing, and it's a lot of fun. I recommended this game to you a long time ago because I think we were talking about like trying to get your mom to play with you, and I recommended it as a
Yeah.
fun word game because it's like a deck building word game, and it's a lot of fun. So they've also got typewriter, which is the main thing I'm really kind of looking forward to. But it'd be fun to get a new version the of the paperback as well. How about you? What's your number two or four?
Number 4 for me is Dungeon Saga Origins. This one is by somebody. Mantic Games, and my understanding on this is like a I believe it's a redo of Dungeon Saga, but I think it's a miniature game again, and it looks like a dungeon. It's like a dungeon crawler, and it looks to me, the way I understand it is like it's kind of like a D&D, but it's more of like Zombicide. You put your tiles out, you're putting all your little different obstacles, your characters out, and there's like missions that you're doing. So it's kind of like pre-scripted type of um like a D&D type of. So it's like, to me it's like Zombicide, but D&D Zombicide. And I really love Zombicide. It's a lot of fun. And this one comes with a whole bunch of expansions and a crap ton of miniatures, and it just looked like, yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun. And again, I think I'm more, miniatures are not really necessarily my thing, but like I've been playing that Gloomhaven. I just feel like something more like this that's not so much Gloomhaven. Like Gloomhaven's just so there's so much to it. Where this one seems to be like maybe not as bad, um, and that you can kind of just go through and play. And but we'll see how it is. But it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun. And this one comes out. This is supposed to be December of this year. So we'll see if that maybe it'll get here in time for Christmas, and that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Okay. Next up for me is Alhambra, the Red Palace. So Alhambra is it's a game that's been around forever. Amazing game, love it. I've got the big box edition, which has bajillion. I think that's the actual count. I'm looking at the box right there. Yep, it's big. It's got a
Bajillion.
bajillion expansions in it, and it's a game by Dirk Henn that had something interesting where you basically build your own little, I think, Alhambra, which is I forget what that means, but it's like a little building, little village or something. Anyway, um, you build your own uh, in front of you, and it's got this cool mechanic where it uses like I think it's like cards as money and stuff. But anyway, um, it was a lot of fun. And then Alhambra, the Red Palace, is a brand new standalone game that takes the original Alhambra and it kind of like, you know, mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it as, Alhambra, you know, 2023, something like that.
2.0.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So really looking forward to this game. It's a game by Queen Games. I do love a lot of their stuff. I fell in love with Queen Games years ago when I first got into the hobby, and I really usually look forward to a lot of their games. Doesn't mean that I like all of their games, but I look forward to them. That's that's for sure. They've got such a huge catalog of games, and they've been around forever. They are literally like one of like the first major game companies out there. And cool story. I don't know if I ever told you this, but a number of years ago when we were down at Gen Con, so our friend Jay and and I were down there. We had our kids, and we were walking by the Queen booth, and this guy comes over, and he's like, "Oh, these kids are so nice, and well behaved." And I'm like, "Thank you." And so he's like, "Follow me, follow me." So he comes over, he brings us over to the booth, and it's so they had a huge booth at the time. Um, I'm trying to compare it size wise. I don't even remember which one uh, that I could compare it to, but he goes, "Here, take this," and then he gave each of the kids a game.
Oh,
He
cool.
just he just gave it to us, and it's like a big box game, not like here's your three card game. It was an
Uh,
actual one of their releases. He just gave it to the stacks, and I'm like, thank you so much. And we shook his hand and everything like that, and then we headed out, and then our buddy Jay was like, who's that was really nice of that guy. I'm like, yeah, he's the owner. it's it's the guy that started Queen Games. He was there, and it was pretty cool. It was an interesting experience. Anyway, so
that's still it's nice. It's just
yeah,
it's nice when you get good service like
yeah, and
that.
they were like more kiddie games and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
not like the huge titles or something like that, and but it was appreciated, and that's cool. So yeah, Queen Games always hold a special place in my heart, not just because of that, but just because I like their games. And that reminds me, I've got oh, what the heck is it? Kingdom Builder. the new version that I got to get to the table one of these days. Because I just got that in the mail recently. But anyway, so yeah, Alhambra, the Red Palace, basically Alhambra 2.0. Looking forward to that one. And man, when is this bad boy coming out? Let me see. I should probably keep up that list so I don't have to keep trying to find it. So Alhambra, where are you? It is anytime now. Looks like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, it was supposed to be August, and they just had an update. So I'm sure real soon now. Yeah, so yeah, they started shipping yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
So you'll have it soon.
yes, absolutely.
And
Okay,
I
what's
apologize
next?
if you can hear noise in the background. My dogs are playing, and I've tried to kick them out once, and they just both came back and are right behind me again, playing with each other, and chewing on each other's heads and rolling around. And hopefully, you guys aren't hearing that.
So basically, they're just like your dogs are just like your kids. They don't listen to you.
Exactly.
Okay,
They did leave, but they came right back in. um,
that's
all
funny.
right. So my next one is called Dog Park New Tricks. It's this is from Birdwood Games, and this is it's I don't think it's an expansion. I believe it is a new game, um, but it's from the from Dog Park, which was one of the games that I kind of first did. Was one of my first Kickstarters,
Oh
and
yeah, that's right. I remember
I
that.
had to get it because the dog on the box looks just like one of my dogs.
Yep.
But I really do like the game. It's a lot of
Hmm.
fun. I do enjoy it. It's a simpler game, but it's great for me as someone was just learning and trying to get into some new mechanics like bidding and trying to determine which dogs you're going to take out on the walk and having the resources and having to pick up new stuff as you're out walking to get more resources for what your next walk, and yeah, just things like that. So this one is a return to the world of Dog Park with multi-breed pups, trick training, and enough room in the park for up to 5 players. So it's going to expand it from 1 to 4 up to 5. And this one is due March of next year. So they did the. I really like the dog park with the designs and everything that like everything looked really good. Um, what's the quality of everything was just really really nice, really outstanding. So um, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I just it looks like they've got some. Well, obviously they got new stuff, and being able to expand it to 5 players and is going to be nice.
Okay.
And of course, it's the one thing that kills me is they're like, there's more dogs to walk, and it's like the original game has so many dog cards. If you're familiar with Wingspan, like there's so many bird cards in that game. This dog park's like the dog version of Wingspan. You know, there's so many dogs. You'll never get through them all. And then I've got like several expansions already from the first game, and now this one's like, oh, there's a whole bunch more. So, and I also have pre-ordered. These guys just put a new game out called Forever Home, which I think is now shipping out. Um, and it's like sheltered dogs finding a home. So it's a little different than Dog Park, but it's still dog based from the same company. So I'm hoping to see that one should be arriving. They didn't kickstart it. It was just they didn't do a Kickstarter for that one. They did a just like you can pre-order right from us, and that's what I did. And it supposedly is about to start shipping too. So that should be here soon. But yeah, looking forward to this one in March of next year.
Okay. Next up for me is another one from Queen Games. It's part of the Stefan Feld collection. This is a title. This is well, it's called Vienna. It's actually a redo, reimagining, reprint, retheming, whatever you want to call it, of the game La Isla. So that is so La Isla is one of the games that I've always wanted to get, but I never did. Yes, believe it or not, that actually happens. Where so what actually happened with this game? This is one of the smaller box games that I want to say it was released by Aaliyah, and the thing with it was there was an initial release and then there was an updated release where they kind of fixed a couple of things. And every time I went anywhere, it was the original release that they had. And I could
uh,
never see the new one because there was a way you could look at the box and determine what it was, which version it was. So I could never see and I could never find the new one, and I really didn't trust ordering it from a store because I'd probably get the original version. I'm guessing if I ordered from a store, so I just went without. So they've got Vienna, which I looked up the ship date for that, and it was supposed to arrive August of 23, and they posted like 2 weeks ago that they started shipping. So the U.S. stuff is going to ship right after Europe is done. So I imagine this is another one. Alhambra is coming real soon now. For all I know, maybe Vienna is going to ship right at the same time, and maybe they'll come in the same box or something like that. Because I had that happen um, not too long ago, where this one company actually held back games, and if you ordered multiples of their games over a couple of Kickstarters, they shipped them all at once. So it was a
oh
little
yeah.
annoying. You had to wait, but who can complain about getting like three games at once? Well, I guess you could complain because shelf space, but you would have had that
Yeah.
problem regardless. Regardless of which one you got. And then, yeah, so this is part of that city collection, which I talked about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or a couple shows ago. The original group of games was Hamburg, Amsterdam, New York, and Marrakesh, with Marrakesh actually being the only brand new game. New York, Amsterdam, and Hamburg are redos of other prior um, Stefan Feld games like Macau, Bruges, and man, I forgot what the other one was. But anyway, yeah, so those are redos. Marrakesh is brand new, and then Vienna is part of that series. Again, it redos La Isla. It's got new artwork, new theme, and of course deluxe
Yeah.
components and a nifty like storage system and all that fun stuff. So that's me. How about you? What you got?
So I've already. This will be brief because I've already dived in depth on it. But my number two is Deep Rock Galactic Space Ragan Biome Expansion coming
Hmm.
out September 2024 by Mood Publishing, and yeah, that's all I need to say on it.
Actually, you know what? So I'm gonna amend my second one, and so there, as part of this collection Kickstarter, it was actually Vienna and Cuzco together. So I'm gonna lump them together, and I'm gonna add one more as my number one.
Okay.
So, let me just say, Cuzco is a redo of Stefan Feld's Bora Bora game, and that's a fun game. I enjoy that one, and it's got the great treatment of this city collection. Everything's upgraded, got cool storage and all that fun stuff. So that's
Yeah.
that. And now I will go to my number one. And I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but based on what you've been saying lately, I think my number one is going to be. What do you think? Planet Unknown.
I was like, is he really
Yeah,
gonna buy Deep Rock?
no, I probably will. I'll probably cave. What? Because the Kickstarter's got what, like 10 more days, 12 more days, something like that.
12 more days, yep.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
probably
just
sit
just so you
there like,
know,
oh,
right now on BGG, under the top 50 trending games today, Deep Rock Galactic is number 2
in the hotness.
in the hotness. Yes,
Holy smokes!
it is number 2. Number 1 is Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
So, just saying.
I know. Because I was thinking like, instead of like going all in and getting all the expansions, just at least get the base game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see.
I would at least get the base game. At least you got it. But I think it's going to be one of those things you're going to be like, I wish I had it all.
I know.
It's tough.
No, like I'm stuck already with the Stefan Feld City Collection
Yeah.
because those games are ridiculous, and it's like I bought the first four, and then I was looking at the other ones like, man, I don't want to get these deluxe ones again. Oh, so expensive. But then it came down to I can't have four deluxe and then two not deluxe. That's like a real sickness, isn't it? That kind of thinking.
It's tough. It is.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
No,
We'll
because
talk about more on that later, but too.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
because I mean, I can freely admit one thing, and that's that I love playing games, and I'm also a collector to some degree
Yes.
because I I like having. I don't always have to have like complete sets of everything because there's a couple of companies like I think um, like Aaliyah tried to do a thing where they had like a whole series of games, and then oh man, there's one I can't remember the name of the company, but they had these games, and they were like smaller boxes, and each one had a number on it. How about that for being like evil marketing?
That's
So
terrible.
so when you look at the boxes, you see the games, and then you see the prominent, 1, 2, 3, etc. And nobody in their right mind would ever want to see 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9.
Right.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
That's just ridiculous. That is
No,
just
can't do that.
insanity. Yeah. Your
Oh,
your OCD would never allow that.
nope.
Yeah. But yeah, Planet Unknown, because yeah, because I don't have that one. And you picked that. Wait, did you get that one at Gen Con? Yeah, you got it at Gen
Yes.
Con. That's right. And I think you have no regrets about getting it at Gen Con either.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. Hmm.
Love it. Absolutely. It's I think it's probably my favorite board game at this point. Um,
Hmm.
I love it playing it every single time. So, and I want to dive in and play a solo game of it this weekend just to do it because they offer that. So,
Yeah. I'd be really curious to see what you think of like solo gaming, because that's not for everybody. Some people really don't like that.
yeah, I did do Rock and Stone the very first time I played it. I did do it by myself, but I was like playing with two characters trying to learn the game.
Yeah,
And I
that's
did that with the
different.
Zombicide
Yeah.
dice game as well. So but this one is it is a solo mode. So I haven't done this yet, so we'll see. But I was excited when I realized that that does have a single player component because I just like
Hmm.
I want to play it all the time. It's like every week I want to play this game. That's how much I enjoy it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I really I can't wait for you to get to try it.
Oh, I'm
So
just you talking about it all the time. It's got me excited.
yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. So we are back to your number one, right?
So yeah.
Oh, you
So
just never mind. Yes, you said that Planet Unknown. So
yeah.
it's back to me. Okay. So And
Oh,
this one's
that's
gonna be
right,
weird.
because you didn't talk about. I thought we were going on with the next section. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. So
Yeah.
my number one is actually not a game.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm looking at this and I'm like, how can you be more excited with this? Oh, I know what this is. Okay. Now, okay, I see why you're excited. Okay.
yeah. So I ordered this, and this was supposed to be here this last summer. I was already supposed to have this
Summer.
one, and
Nice.
and what it is, it's a customized board game bag, and this sucker can carry. It's like a backpack. It has straps to for you to put like a carry it like a
It's like
backpack.
a refrigerator
It's
on your back.
it's
That's what it is.
yes, it's huge. It can carry like what is it, like 7 or 8 normal size. I don't know what, like those square boxes, like Ticket to
Yeah, like
Ride
Ticket to Ride
type.
size.
Yeah.
You,
So you can
you,
carry
you,
like 7 of them stacked on each other.
you
And
know
then
when
there's these
when
extra
I see
pouches.
I was gonna say when
What?
I see people with these things, like you see them at Gen Con and various places, it reminds me of this episode of Three Stooges where Curly is carrying a refrigerator on his back. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Well, you can actually put Gloomhaven in this bag.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But and
Yeah.
it still has room for, like, you could probably slide another box on top. But then it has all these pouches, different they even sell like a trolley, like these wheels, so you can stick this thing on a trolley on wheels to wheel it in. I don't believe I bought the wheels. But I did get like the backpack straps and the regular straps. And the thing is, every week I carry several games to my board game store, and all I've been using is like a duffel bags, and it's like there's games I've been wanting to take, and it's like it doesn't fit. You
Yeah.
know, this thing will fit. It will carry everything that I want, and then it's got extra slots for like pens, and I also carry a placard for our game group that I stick on the table, so new people are trying to find us, they can see the sign. Pens and notepads and little containers for, for your stuff, right? That,
Yeah.
your components, that maybe some games have components and you want the little, so I carry these little containers that we can use so they're not just all over the table. And this thing is like, it's something that like you got to pick the design, the artwork, and the colors. And one of the problems is they have so many options on these, is it's causing them a lot of delays.
Oh
And
really?
yeah, I got an update from them the other day, and they're just like, they talking about the manufacturing process, the challenges with shipping, and all kinds of things. There's just so many options. And then it's like I also ordered a a a game mat, that I've got a huge 12-person table, dining room table, and I bought a mat that's almost going to fit that thing like perfect, like width, and it won't be as long as my table is, but it's going to basically fill in my whole middle. It's like a really like a great play mat that I'm really excited to be able to use. And so I've got that. And then they had, with those things, they had, oh, you could get them with LEDs, you can get them without, you can get all these millions of different colors. And then it's like, oh, you also had a bag. So right now they're like dealing with how to get everybody um orders to the right people, because everything is customized. And so it's, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all works out.
Yeah. See,
But
to me that says a poorly planned Kickstarter, but yeah,
it
I
it could be like the company. These guys I don't think are new. It's Crafting Kingdoms.
yeah.
I believe they've been around, and I think they just got a little crazy on the customizations of everything and options. There's so many options, and it's just like, yeah, you can get all that stuff sent to you, but then it's like, okay, who's gonna figure out what goes to who when everything's customized? So it's proving challenging for them. They've had a lot of delays, but I am really looking forward to that bag more than the playmat. The playmat is something I added on afterwards. I was like, you know what, this would be nice because it's like so many times on my table, it's like you can't pick up the cards, or it's just like I need a nice play surface that's just, and I'm like, this thing will be great. But the bag, I really am excited to get in my hands and start using. So that's my most excited one, and it's supposed. Hopefully, it arrives before Christmas.
Hmm.
So, and then maybe I'll bring it as my carry-on in February when I take a flight somewhere. I'll be like, Rob, I'm here. I have games. I have no clothes. I'm gonna be wearing these
You,
clothes the next several days, but
it's like
I might stink a
every
bit. But
day,
we got games.
every morning, you wash your clothes.
So
That's funny. Yeah. I was going to mention that I think we talked about this like years ago. There was a store called Boards and Bits. I mean, that was like my main squeeze. I bought all my games from there. Oh, spent so much money with them. And they used to sell one of the first like board game mats, and it was just basically like a huge mouse pad. And I
yeah.
bought one that was like 4 foot by 5 foot because you could buy them in custom lengths, and they would basically cut it to size.
Uh
Because I'm
huh.
guessing they probably just had a massive roll of it. And
Oh,
I still
probably.
got that thing, and I still love playing on it. Playing on, I'll call it like a playmat or a mouse mat type surface is just so awesome. It's so easy to pick up anything. Like when you've had like a playing card that suction cups itself to the table and and you can't pick it up because you don't want to dig your fingernails into the edge because you'll mar it,
Yeah.
and you're
Yep.
trying to pick it up, and it's like impossible. It's on a mat. Everything just stays put. It's easy to pick up. It's a nice surface, and there's a reason why all those fancy board game tables have them because they're nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
mine's
so you like it?
42 by 66 inch.
Okay, yeah, that's a
So
good
probably
size.
the
Yeah.
same, probably what, 4 by 5 foot, probably same. Yeah. And then I got like I told you I got backpack straps. I also got this thing comes with elastic bands so I can put them around my boxes to make sure that the lids don't come off. So if I'm only carrying a few games, I can just put these bands on them. They've got bag dividers. I've picked out the type of like the emblems I want on the pockets and the color of the thing. And yeah, I can't wait. It was a, and it really wasn't that bad. The playmat, the bag is only like $80.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
playmat was like $70. So,
Yeah.
but
I just pulled up their site. They've got and this is nuts. They've got
they've got what?
16 different playmats. Some with
Oh, on
LED, some without LED,
yeah,
and yeah, then they have to like make sure that they get the right kinds. And you know, this is one thing like in fast food, like McDonald's always struggles with this. I have an interest in the fast food industry. Not just that I eat there, but I think it's interesting how some of the stuff works. And the thing is, if things have too many options, they take too long to make, which impacts customer service times. So when you have a sandwich with like 20 different options on it and you're custom making each one, that's that just kills your drive through, it kills your front counter.
yeah,
And that's what these guys I think are probably running into, because each of these is going to be a different print run, right? Because you have to screen the different colors and stuff and install LEDs. And it's like, yeah, we need, because it looks like they sold 1,000 pledges. So They might need 100 of this, 45 of those, two of those, and yeah, interesting. And
Yeah.
even the bags, there's like a whole bunch of different
Oh yeah.
prints on them and colors.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a huge there are a lot of options.
hmm
So
So, from now on, whenever I see you carrying it, I'm going to call you Curly.
that's fine. It's a big bag.
I'll call you
I
Curly, and then
realize
we can
that.
play the games.
So
Yeah. Anyway, so that was your number
but it will
one.
get used every single week, that's the
I
thing.
bet. No, I
So
bet. And I bet you're going to love that bag because it's such a hassle to carry games, especially when they don't fit in the bags. And then when, like one of them tumbles out, you know, it's not going to fall out when it's inside your house. It's not going to fall out when it's on a table. It's going to
right.
fall out when you take it out of your car and it's going to land right in the puddle.
Yes.
And then you're like, how is there a puddle here? It hasn't rained in 10 days,
Yeah, exactly.
but it found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So those are the things we're excited about.
Yeah.
So do you have any regrets, any games or items, I guess? Because as we my number one most excited is not even a game, but
Yeah.
any crowdfunding regrets that you have?
There's one, and it's kind of a weird one. So, because I kind of struggled to find one that was a regret, because for the most part, I'm at least kind of happy with most of the games that I backed, and I don't even want to go into how many I backed. There's a lot, and there is one that kind of stands out, and it's kind of a weird story. So there's a game called I'm not even sure how to say it. It's like Caridia, Carotia. It's like carrot, like the vegetable, with an
Uh-huh.
IA at that. So this is a game that came out from Mage Company, I believe is the publisher. So they did a whole bunch of Kickstarters in the past for a whole bunch of games that I actually kind of enjoy, and they tied they hooked up with this one company out of Greece, and they published a whole bunch of their games like Archon, Glory and Machination, which is pretty good. Shadows over Empire was another one. Among the Stars, I really like that game. That's a fun game. Man, I haven't played that in forever. And so they came out with this Caridia, Carodia. I'll call it Carodia. Probably mispronouncing it. They came out with this, and it was like a little family game. It was co-op. It was cheap, and this was while I was still kind of in the phase of, if a publisher comes out with a game, it's like I'm immediately interested if it's one of my favorite publishers or if it's one that
Yeah.
I like their games in the past. And so I backed it thinking, I'm like, yeah, this might be something fun, family game. My son would like it. And this was like back in 2017. So what is that, like 6 years ago or so? And this game took forever to get released. And I don't remember the exact details of it, but it took a long time to ship out. And when it did, so actually let me take a step back real quick. So after a while I backed it and I was like looking at it. I'm like, why did I back this one? It's like, I was kind of lukewarm on it later, but I'm like, it was only $25, not a big deal. And then when the game finally shipped, because I forgot about it, when it finally shipped, that was when I had just moved.
Oh.
And and then it was like too late to change shipping. They didn't give me an option to like intercept it or have it shipped to, like if it comes UPS, you can sometimes like redirect it to a UPS store, like, hey, I'll pick it up at the UPS store, or whatever store. Now you can go to like Walgreens or something like that, or various stores to pick up your FedEx or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I couldn't redirect it. So what I kept doing is I would drive by my old house to see if it was on the doorstep. And it the owners of the house apparently got it or something like that. And yeah, I never got it. So the game that I was lukewarm on that took a long time, I actually never got because I moved and it shipped to my old house, and I was a little irritated by that whole thing. But whatevs, whatevs.
Well,
Uh,
it rates a 4.9 out of 10 on
yeah,
BGG, so it
yeah.
doesn't sound
So
like you're missing much.
exactly, yeah,
But still, you still backed it, you paid for it, you waited for it, and then because you moved, you didn't get it.
exactly. Yeah, it's like, when did I back it? So I'm looking at it now. So it was estimated delivery in January of 2017, and
We
actually, I
shipped
think,
it last month, right?
yeah, because doesn't it show like when you
um,
backed it somewhere on Kickstarter?
I I don't know. Let
Here,
me go back to my
view.
pledge page and see, or my backed project page. Um, I don't see that it says when you did.
Yeah,
Just an estimated delivery date.
yeah. So I filled out the survey in September of 2016,
Yeah.
and let me see. So yeah, I don't know.
Eh,
So it was sometime in 2016. Oh wait, it was funded in September 2016. So yeah, so beginning of September. So that would have made it 7 years ago.
yeah.
So
And I don't.
that's my.
No, I don't think I have any regrets.
Yeah.
But the first two that were official Kickstarter. So I mentioned Dog Park. Well, Dog Park was not a Kickstarter. It was like I think it was a late pledge, and it was one of those that I was able to kind of get after the Kickstarter, but before they started shipping them.
Hmm.
And I love that game. I think it was awesome, worth every penny. But there was two other things that they were small. So when I was first getting into the kickstarting and I was like looking at stuff, I didn't want to put a lot of money out because I'm like, you don't know if you're going to get it. You know, you're paying for this, and you could be a year or two before you get it. So I went with some small stuff. And the first one I did was Evil Bunny, which was the one that supposedly shipped here and
Oh
then
yeah.
never arrived, which that
Yeah.
was UPS. It did show up 2 months later. So I ended up with a second copy. But the game is really basic, and it's not, and you really, it's okay, it's fun if you've got a younger crowd and you got a lot of people, or maybe an older crowd like seniors and young kids. But anywhere in between, it's like this is kind of like, it's just not that fun. It really isn't. So I was
Yeah.
like, I could have done without this.
Hmm.
And then
But you didn't know at the
one,
time. I
I
mean, you're
didn't
just
know, and
getting in.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, it was kind of fun to let me kickstart something. Let me do this thing. And
And
so
then
I
just
don't
so you know,
regret it.
I did judge you when you ordered that, and I'm like, noob.
Yeah. um and now I've played it a couple times, but again, it depends on the crowd, but
Yeah.
it's um it's just yeah, but it was cheap. So and the next one was the same. It was a little cheap card game. It's one too many rabbits. It's not a bad game, but there is a mechanic in the game that to me breaks the game right out the gate. And I kind of don't understand why it's there. And I feel as if it wasn't, they really didn't play test this very well. And I've had to like remove this, like, okay, we're getting rid of these altogether, a whole set of cards, because to me it breaks the game completely. Um, and it was just like, yeah, I'll probably never play it again. It's just it hasn't been one of these. It's not like a Planet Unknown, you know. But
Right.
again, these were smaller ones to get my feet wet. I don't regret them, but they were kind of a learning experience. Now, once they've come in, now unfortunately, I've
Hmm.
got a bunch of other stuff that I ordered before those came in that are going to probably fall in the same category that are supposed to have already been here, and whatever. Eventually, they may show up, but it's like, okay, now I'm on to like more expensive stuff and bigger things, and you
Yeah.
know
Yep.
but I did learn. I think I did learn, um it got that initial putting your feet in the water, put that toe in the water to test it, and without too much risk. And now it's like, what, only 500, here you go.
It's like, ooh, the last one was 600. This is a
Yeah,
deal. It's like I used $100 coupon.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So not regrets, but I know people had regrets, and hopefully I don't ever end up with any. But so,
Yeah.
so but so Rob, why do you participate in the crowd funding arena? Why do you crowdfund?
Wait, what? Why
Why
do?
do you do crowdfunding?
Because sometimes that's the only way to get the game. Come on. That is a good question because I'm sort of mixed on it. I like it, and at the same time, I don't like it because you do get sucked in to. Okay, so I think it's different from the standpoint of like I was at this game store on Saturday, and they have a lot of Kickstarters, and they'll oftentimes have all the Kickstarter like add-ons. So they'll have the base game, then they'll have like, a couple of the expansions, and they'll have the metal coins, and then the placemat. And some of the stuff they sell separately.
Right.
And like when I look at the stuff there at the store, I can easily say, "Oh, I don't need all this stuff. I'm just going to get the base game." But when I'm looking at the pledge on Kickstarter or GameFound or whatever, it's so much easier to get sucked in and drop $350 on
Yeah.
Deep Rock than it
Yep.
is to just get, "Oh, I'm just going to get the base game." So I think it's less tangible when you look at it, and it's easier to drop more money thinking, well, oh, it's just another $20. But if you're looking at it physically and you're holding it in your hand, and I think it's easier to dismiss all the extras because, to be honest, there's so many games that I have with expansions, and I rarely play the expansions. Like
Yeah.
almost all the time we play just the base game because that's how we like it. And like I'll use a Zool as an example. I mean, I don't play like with the Crystal Palace. I mean, the Zool has, I guess most of those games are standalones, but it's like, we don't play the Crystal whatever Palace or whatever it's called
Summer
expansion.
Pavilion or Crystal Mosaics or
Yeah, the one
yeah.
that comes with that overlay, for
Yeah.
example. It's like we don't play that, and we don't even play the advanced version of the game. We just play the base one. The
Right.
advanced one's on the backside where it doesn't have any of the colors in that grid,
Yeah.
so you can't freeform make it. And so yeah, it's easier to discount those. Now, the the thing the thing that I get irritated by is, and Queen did this a whole bunch with their games, but I just shut the heck up and bought their games anyway, even though I didn't like it, or pledged and backed. But they would have the game full price, MSRP. Maybe they had like an add-on, a promo. They call them Queenies. Maybe they had like one of those or something like that with it, and on top of it, you paid shipping, which was easily like it's like, let's say like a $60 game plus another 15 bucks for shipping. So it's like you're paying way more than, like, if I waited, like if the game came out, let's say in February, and I waited until, I don't know, 2, 3 months later, then my local store would have it and it'd be 30% off. But part of
Yeah.
it, part of the appeal of Kickstarter too is you get the game earlier. Not always.
All right.
Sometimes people get irritated because they still haven't gotten their Kickstarter and it's in retail and it's at Gen
Yep.
Con and all that good stuff. But how about you?
um, for me, when I first started, I thought it was neat to fund something that wasn't out, to kind of be a part of, hey, this game's here because I helped fund this project. What I have found in
Yeah.
my experience is that, well, guess what? Simon was going to make Marvel Multiverse anyways. All it is they a lot of these are big game companies using these crowdfunding sites to secure a bunch of sales up front. So it's like they're using our money to make the game instead of taking the risk of their own money. But when it's something like a Marvel United, which is a huge success, you really don't need to do that. And the other thing that I've learned is like, okay, you get all these extras, which, in a lot of ways, how many did I talk about just earlier? Ooh, you
Hmm.
get this, you get that, you get this. Okay, I get a gold plated mini that, or gold painted mini for Deep Rock expansion to go on this. But what does it do? Probably nothing. It's just there. It's a mini. A lot of these things, it's like get a bonus card. Now, I just bought today. Got in the mail today a pack from the BGG store, and I bought some promos. Which these are things like you would find in a Kickstarter, and it's like, here's a single card for Forbidden Sky. And it's like, I think I paid like $1.50 for this card.
Oh, that's actually pretty cheap. Usually they're like five.
Yeah, anywhere for I think this one was like $1.50, but everything else was like $3 to $5. But it's like when I get it now and I'm like, oh, okay. It's like a single card. It's like no big deal. It's kind of neat to have the promo, but again, it's like as I've gotten these in this week, it's like, okay, and when will I use this? And then it makes me think of like all the extras you get. Ooh, Kickstarter exclusive. Well, it's a card. What it does it really change the game if you don't have it in the retail? No. When I played Forbidden Sky, I didn't know there was a ledge extender bonus card, promo card somewhere, you know. And then I ended up getting it the other day because I went down that rabbit hole of, ooh, I can buy promos. It was just like buy, add to cart, add to cart.
Hmm.
um, and then it's like, well, that you know, do you really need it? And like I've said this before, for games that I really like, then yes, I will dump money into premium upgrades. But again, we're buying a lot of times I'm like, ooh, I feel compelled. Like you said, you just something about these crowdfunding sites when you see, ooh, and if you upgrade to this, you get all this. And then they got their goals, or what is it, their daily goals or
Stretch goals.
stretch goals. And I was looking at one of them the other day and I was like, well, you get this if we can reach this much money. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I scroll back up. It's listed here as it's included. Down here, it's listed as a stretch goal. So which is it? And other people mentioned that, like, hey, wait a minute. you said this up here was in the game. Now you're saying it's a stretch goal. So which is it? They're like, these are pretty
Whoops.
lame stretch goals.
Yeah.
You're just listing stuff that's in the package already. So
Yeah.
it's like, are you just trying to build up hype or make it sound like you're getting more than you're really not? So
Yes.
it in a way, I was like real excited to do it, but lately I feel like I'm becoming a bit more jaded because I feel like the little people who are trying to make something and use this site are going to get buried by the big companies that have all the money who don't need to quote crowdfund, but they're doing it to get all that money ahead of time. And it's like, well, they're going to get those types of projects are going to get blasted all over the place and people are going to put their money there. And then it's like, well, when you do come across the little gem of um Carotia or Caratia,
Kirodia.
yeah, Carotia, you
Yeah.
may not you're like, oh, I've already backed this other thing and it cost me $500, so I don't have 20 bucks left for Carotia, you know, or you're going to stop looking because you put so much money to something that's a major manufacturer, major game dev. I don't really think that those types of games should be there,
No,
you
I
know,
know what you're saying. Yeah, because Kickstarter started off,
for the
with
little guy.
yeah, with a certain mission, right, as a certain purpose, and it's changed over the years. And I have heard, and I don't know how true this still is right now, but it's like board games, like the tabletop gaming aspect of it is their biggest moneymaker. I mean, more so than anything else, which is surprising because there's a lot of stuff on there. But it definitely has turned into a vehicle for companies to use for marketing, to build hype, to build interest and awareness. And like even like Queen Games, there's a bunch of games that I backed, where I said, I paid full price and I paid shipping just to get the game first and have it sit on my sit on my shelf. But I had it first, and they basically mentioned the games are already printed and they're on a ship,
Right.
so they're coming. It's basically pre-order, and you know what? While that does go against what um, Kickstarter did start off as, the thing is though, you're guaranteed, well, not guaranteed. It's like 99.9% likely you're going to get the game versus like I get irritated with some of the games where it's like, okay, you backed it, it's shipping in September, and they're like, 2 months after you back it, okay, we're still working on the final files. A month later, we're reviewing the final files. We'll send them off to the printer 6 months after backing. We've sent them off to the printer. It's like, when am I going to get this game?
Yeah.
It's like, you guys sold me a game that wasn't even finished. And I know that is the premise of some of these games, but it's like the
Right.
game's not even finished. You spent 6 months working on art. What was the stuff that was in the campaign?
Yeah. I thought you had the art. I thought what did you show me then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the thing. It's like, what would you expect? And I know we're kind of branching off from this topic here, but it's like, what would you expect a company, like if you're backing a game that seems interesting, how far along would you want them to be when you back it? How far along in the development slash manufacturing process?
I think
You
that
know what I'm
really
saying?
depends on see, I think the original premise of a Kickstarter or crowdfunding, I can see it taking a year or two because it's something that a smaller company or someone working out of their home is trying to run a business and get out there to become bigger, I think I expect that they're going to need more time, and it seems fine. But when I've got something that like Deep Rock, I'm going to throw them under the bus a little bit. You want $350 from me and you want it today, but you're not going to give me a game until maybe a year from now. This is a established company that they're just, I'm buying it because I want it and I want to make sure I get it because I've yet to see Deep Rock in the stores. Um,
Yeah.
so that's one reason, like that's why I'm doing it, try to ensure I get it because I want it. But I don't think they should be doing it. If you're gonna, especially when you're a larger organization, um, they've probably got this stuff. They got it all finalized. There's nothing going to change from there. Why is it going to take them a year to get it to us? And then those dates are going to are slip. I don't know. I don't think I've had one yet ship on time.
Yeah.
So it's like that. That's I think the frustrating part. And I've heard other stories on other podcasts where people have like, I was supposed to have it 2 years ago, still don't have it.
Yep. Yeah, I've had a
Supposedly the
couple of
company's
those.
still working on it. And it's like, okay, well, that was supposed to be to you 2 years ago. That means you funded it 3 to 4 years ago. They've had your money this whole time. You've got nothing to show for it. And by then, you even gonna want it by the time it shows up. So that kind of leads me into like, is it actually worth it? You know, when it does arrive, do you even have the gaming group still together? Do you have that same interest in that type of game? Maybe you've bought like that lady was saying the other day, maybe while you've been waiting and you forgot that you even had this thing, that you bought something else that's similar to it because you're like, "Ooh, this looks interesting," and oh, here's a cool dungeon crawler. Then you get that and you're playing it, you love it, and then next month, boom, this thing shows up. You're like, "The heck is this?" Oh, well, now I'm not hyped for it anymore. I bought something else. I got off the shelf for a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Does the same thing.
Hmm.
Um, Also, I always thought originally that when you crowdfunded something, because you were crowdfunding it, that one of the benefits of paying your money up front and taking the risk of it actually not ever coming out was that you got it at a better price. And that is an absolute falsehood.
Yeah. That is.
You pay a lot more money
Yeah.
than you would at retail. And I've seen that like Flamecraft. It's now in my retail store, a lot cheaper than what I paid for it. And I only got the retail version of the game, but I paid more for it than what retail is selling it for.
Yeah. A lot of the Kickstarters sell for MSRP.
And I don't think
Yeah.
that doesn't, to me, that kind of goes against the whole point of what this is. And again, now you've got major companies doing it. They are not going to lose money. In fact, they're reducing their risk by using this platform.
Well,
Um,
and they get more profit because those games don't go through distribution. So you have Mark and Rob that pay for shipping, so it's not coming out
yep,
of their pocket, and they're getting the game at full MSRP,
yep.
which let's say is $60. Okay. So they're getting the full $60 for the game that maybe costs them 23 to make.
It's like video games going digital. You get to skip the GameStop, you know. So if Microsoft, like Forza Motorsport's about to come out, I think this week for the early release and next week for the retail. So retail, they gotta, Microsoft's got to give so much money to retail. They only get say $20 for their $70 game, but when you buy it from them digitally, they get the full $70. So they make a lot more profit by
Hmm.
cutting out the retailers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing too, paying for shipping. We're paying a lot of money to ship this game, which if you wait till it comes to retail, you don't have to pay that either. So you're going to get the game cheaper and not have to pay shipping. And you'll
Potentially,
have it in
yeah.
your hand the day you paid your money.
Yep, yep. Oh,
So,
absolutely.
uh,
So
so
with that being said, I'm gonna back Deep Rock right now.
well, that's the thing. It's like I already know there's, like I said, on the October 17th, I already know the day that the next um, Dice Throne hits Kickstarter, and I don't think they should be there. They've got enough games. And it's going to be expensive. Their games are very well made, and I love Dice Throne. I'm going to buy it, even though I'm not a fan of the Marvel X-Men. You know, I'm going to buy it anyways because it's Dice Throne. It's one of the like this is that whole collector thing coming in, and I'm going to give them whatever they want. I'm going to buy everything that I can, but it's like, uh that's part of the FOMO. Why do we crowdfund? FOMO. I might miss out on it. It took me a long time to get to Santa versus Krampus. Now, I've
Yeah.
played it twice since August.
Okay.
Okay. We played it the day we got it. My daughter and I sat there at Gen Con and played it. And then we played it once more here because she wanted to play as Santa and she wanted me to play Krampus. And that's it. I don't know when it'll get to the shelf again, but I have it. And it makes me happy that I have it, and I don't want to miss out on this next
That's the
one. So I'm
collector in
gonna.
you. Yep.
That's yep. So I'm happy for crowdfunding for that aspect. But again, what if the game that you ordered doesn't live up to the hype? What if you move like you did? I mean, a game that you crowdfunded, like some of these people, it's been 4 or 5 years or 3 to 4 years, and they still don't have it. A lot can happen at a time, and you could be forced to move. Then what do you do?
Yeah.
It,
Usually you
it's
get the option to change your address.
but not always.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, and it's just, and I know one thing. It's just like I swear that I ordered Cascadia landmarks from somewhere. I could have swore I pre-ordered it from somewhere. I can't find it anywhere on any of my sites that I've ordered from. I'm like, I don't know.
And did you search your email? That's what I usually do.
I've searched email, can't
Yeah.
find anything in there. But I'm like, I swear I pre-ordered it the day it was available to pre-order. I just don't know where. So now it's like I know it's about to come out. It's like really close to hitting retail. So it's like, do I go get it as soon as I see it, or
Yes.
do I hold out and see if it shows up?
Dude,
So
if you
that's
get
another
the
thing. You get too many. You start to like, okay, I gotta rein this in, and I gotta be a lot more restrictive of what I'm doing. And
uh-huh.
I got Kickstarters out till this time next year. It's like, why am I giving them all this money now? I may not want to play Deep Rock Galactic expansions at this time next year. Maybe I've played myself through the base game. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Because what if yeah, too many things can change. So it really, yeah, I do feel like now that I've got like 16 out there right now. I counted 16 crowdfunded items that I'm waiting to come in, and I'm going to have a 17th one here in 2 weeks
Oh wow.
when I add the Dice Throne. So yeah, it's like I'll have 17 crowdfund items active, waiting for them to come in. And it's like, okay, I've got a lot of stuff that I've crowdfunded, and I look at it now. I was looking at it earlier today, and I'm like, why? Why did I get this? I don't even know why I don't even know why I got some of these.
It was a moment of weakness.
I got one, dude. Let me just. I almost backed out of it the other day. I was trying to figure out if I could. It was Worms, the board game, and I loved Worms, the video game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? This will be fun because it's got a lot of players. It'd probably be a good game group one. But then it was like it came up to like do your final pledge or make changes, and I was like, why am I buying this? Oh no, it wasn't that one. It was Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. That was the one, and it's like expensive because I did the VIP all in with a bunch of add-ons, and I look back at it and I was like, why am I spending this money? Can I cancel this? And it looks like, I was on the mobile app too. So, but it was like, we're closing out tonight. You got to do. And I was like, I don't want to get up and go to my computer to see if I can figure out is there a way to back out after you've pledged? But it's like, this is one I would drop if I could,
Yeah.
because it's like, why did I spend all that money? I got
Yeah. It's like,
hooked.
yeah, you had second thoughts.
Yeah. I got another one that I'm like, it's called Flight Plan. Um, it might be fun, but it's like, I don't know if I really need, there's at least 3 right now
Isn't that the one that
that
you
I
got
would
at
back out
Gen
of if I
Con
could.
though? Flight Plan?
No. No, 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 that's a different. No, that's what's that called? That's You're thinking of a Sky Team.
Yeah, SkyTeam. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got that. No, this is a different game. It's about like creating airlines around the world and setting
Okay.
up routes and all this different stuff. I think it's like it almost kind of reminds me of, in a way, Ticket to Ride, but with planes. And I'm a huge airline plane guy, so I'm like, I'll try this. You're trying to build airlines and becoming a mogul, airline mogul.
Well, there's
But
already a game like that. Um,
I've seen one at my store called Aviation Tycoon, and it's actually
no, it
like
wasn't that.
on the it's like on the used game, or the, what do they call it? They got a place where people can like sell their old games and
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and I keep picking it up every time I go in there, but I don't buy it.
And I can't remember the name. I could have sworn it was done by Alan Moon. He did Ticket to Ride. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts now. It's Airlines something. It's very much like, it sort of reminds me of Ticket to Ride.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
airport, Pan Am, frequent flyer, planes.
yeah, that's actually
Oh,
a
that's
decent
an
game. I like that one.
AEG is yeah, that's one by AEG. So
Okay, yeah, Airlines Europe. That's the one by Alan Moon.
oh, okay.
That's a that's a decent game.
I really do like the Ticket to Ride games. I like stuff from that company. Who am I thinking of? Who makes the Ticket to Ride? Um, Days of Wonder. They seem to put out some great stuff. This is Rio Grande games, so
Yeah, but if you look at it, it's definitely got the
oh
feel. It's
yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it now.
yeah,
It's got little airplanes in it. Cool, I want
I
it.
know, right? It's got little spots where you put them in between, like the little cities. And there's, if I remember right, there's like stocks and ownership and stuff. It's a good
It's got
game. It's a good game.
rated 7.3. So I might have to look for that.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
anyways,
Yeah, it's an old game. I don't know how available it is.
probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like things that's just like I have regrets on. So my regrets for them are things I've actually have out there now that I wish I could get out of.
So there are future
That's my,
regrets.
their future
Yeah,
regrets.
yeah.
So, but anyway, anywho, I don't know. That's kind of, I think I enjoyed that discussion.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop me from crowdfunding, but I think a lot of these things are going to help me to choose wiser. And I definitely want to, I think at this point, I think I'm at that point now. It's like, if it's not something like Deep Rock or Dice Throne or something that I really, really am into, that I'm just not going to crowdfund anymore. The it's just too much money to not be able to have it then, you know? And most of the stuff is gonna
And
I
I'm
don't think
back.
anything. Oh, and he's back. But anyways, I don't think any of this is not gonna hit the store anyways, so I'm just gonna start to learn some lessons here and start to get a little pickier about what I crowdfund. So, but that's it for me. You got anything left, Rob? Or did I lose you for good? I may have lost Rob. He turned into a pumpkin, folks. It's all we got like hour and 55 minutes in, and I think he turned into a pumpkin. So, all right. Well, since I think I've lost him, I'm going to go ahead and let me message him. I'm here still. I'm just going to close the show out since it looks like I lost you. So, um, from Rob and myself, we just want to say thanks for listening. Feel free to, I don't know. Did I hear you, Rob? You back? I thought I heard him click. Um, but yep, tell your friends about the show. Hopefully, you guys like it. And we will be back in 2 weeks for episode 58. We will catch you all later. Thanks so much.